All right, welcome in everybody. We're going to give it about a minute to let participants arrive into the room, and then we'll start with some housekeeping items and some table setting, and then hand it off to Carly from Taylor University for your presentation. Just hang out here for just a minute to make sure we give people time to join the session, and then we'll move forward from there. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, welcome to our college exploration, OACAC college exploration for all Ohio students, powered by Strive Scan. So thank you for attending. How do you ask questions? You use the Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so only the presenter can be seen and heard, and it helps keep things nice and clean and focused. And then do keep in mind, this is one of many sessions going on. And you can check out more sessions online, whether live or on demand, at oacac.org. And the recording of this session will be available as well about a week after this session, so you can go back and review it. And again, any other sessions in real time on demand at oacac.org. And with that, I will hand it over to Carly at Taylor University.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Go ahead and get this set up here. All right, so hi guys, my name is Carly. I am a recent graduate from Taylor University. I graduated in May with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science, Philosophy, and Economics, which is one of our hybrid majors that we have at Taylor. And I love Taylor. Taylor has been a really great place for me to not only expand my academic knowledge, but also expand my spirituality and spiritual maturity, as well as learn more about how to build meaningful relationships with people. So I'm really excited to be here today with you guys and tell you a little bit more about what Taylor is, where we're located, all that stuff, and then also tell you about who Taylor is and some of the stuff that our students have accomplished. So Taylor was founded in 1846, and we're located in Upland, Indiana, which is a small town about an hour south of Fort Wayne. And we are one of the oldest non-denominational evangelical colleges in the United States. Something that makes Taylor a little different than other universities is we classify ourselves as a discipleship community, which means that a majority of our students and faculty profess some sort of statement of faith in Christ when they come into the university. So there are some Christian universities that have this idea of encouraging people to come to their university who don't have a relationship with Jesus, and the hope there is that they would be able to like move their spiritual journey towards that outcome during their time at the university. But that is not the case for Taylor at all. So the mission of Taylor, which let me just get this here, is to develop servant leaders marked with the passion to minister Christ's redemptive love and truth to a world in need, which means that we want our students to be passionate about their faith and be able to minister their faith to the world around them. One of the ways that we try to do that is through our academic programs. So I'll talk a little bit more later about how we sort of act on that discipleship community that I was talking about. But we have over 100 degree programs in 60 different areas of study. And something that's really cool about the Taylor education is that we expect our students to graduate with this well-rounded personality and well-rounded knowledge of the world, not just a mastery of their specific area of study. And so we like to focus on these 7 key points in our liberal arts program. One that I like to point out here is number 7 with the spiritual maturity, where we integrate faith and learning together so that our students can, yes, can, expand on their knowledge of their own faith through learning about different things like art or politics or biology, exercise science, whatever that is. So that's a little bit about what Taylor is. Now let's talk about who Taylor is. So Taylor, like I said, is located in Upland, Indiana, and our campus sits on 952 acres of land. So we have a lot of really beautiful green space, a lot of really great ways for our students to be active outside. We have anywhere between 1,900 and 2,000 students, depending on the year. And our student to faculty ratio is 13:1, which is really cool because it means that our average class size is around 20 students. We have students coming from all over the United States, 43 states represented. We have a very large population of students from Ohio as well. And then we have 31 countries represented at Taylor too. So Taylor is a very diverse community. It's a community that welcomes different ethnicities as well as people who grew up in different cultures than our own, which I really loved because I loved being able to meet people from all over the world and all over the country who had different experiences than me. So I talked a little bit about the student to faculty ratio and that our average class size is around 20 students. Even if you are put into a big lecture hall where you have like 85 to 100 students in there, there will always be some sort of small group component. And one of the reasons why that is because our faculty want to know their students as individuals, not just a name on their list. And they want to invest in their students. They want to be able to call the students by their name so that if a student comes into their office, they know who they are, they know what their academic performance is like, they know their story, all that stuff. Another way that we try to ask our professors to invest in their students is through academic advising. Academic advising not only allows for some space to get some ideas on how to progress in your degree at Taylor, but also it's a really good resource for research projects, publications, internship opportunities, and just overall networking, which is huge. A quick story, a personal story about me is that my admissions counselor, or sorry, not admissions counselor, academic advisor, was such an amazing resource for me because I was able to get an internship at the US Department of State through one of the professors in the political science department because he knew someone who worked in DC at the US Department of State. And so I was able to do an internship abroad at one of the embassies in Europe. And it was an amazing opportunity, but I never would have been able to do that if I hadn't been connected to that professor, which is awesome. So we do really value the Upland experience as a huge part of the Taylor education, but another really big part of Taylor education is encouraging our students to go abroad and see the kingdom that God has created in a lot of different new ways. So we were ranked in the top 10. We're actually number 2 in the country for a number of students who went abroad on some sort of short-term academic experience. We have many different opportunities for students. You could do a whole semester abroad, you could do a month-long academic program or a month-long service trip. And then we also have spring break trips that are just for the week of spring break. So these are some of the programs that we offer. So we have Taylor specific programs that would be like Ireland and Ecuador, where you would be going with just a cohort of Taylor students. And those are really amazing programs. You learn a lot. You get a specific Taylor education during those programs, which is really cool too. And then we have semester-long programs that are with the CCCU And they have a program called Best Semester, where a bunch of different Christian colleges around the country will send students on that program. So the Lithuania program, the Italy program, the Oxford program, the Australia program, and I think the Korea program. They have like cohorts of students from all over the United States that you would be going with if you decided to do one of those programs. And those programs, you enroll in a university in the country that you're in and take classes through that, so, which is really great. So we have a lot of students participating in those as well if they're not interested in the Ireland or Ecuador specific programs. We also have some academic trips that are just for the month of January during our J term or interterm. So the Greece and Italy trip is a really awesome experience for those who are interested in taking one of their Bible credits abroad. You get to do the footsteps of Paul, which is a really awesome opportunity. The China trip is a really good experience for people who are interested in international business. You get to visit Hong Kong and a few other like big international business hubs in China. And then we also offer, because we are a Christian institution, we offer missions-based trips as well. So Peru and Uganda are part of our Lighthouse program, which is a month-long service trip in another country. And you spend the whole like fall semester beforehand preparing for that with your team. Those trips are completely funded by donors to Taylor. So it's no cost to the student, which is really great. And yeah, they offer some really, really great opportunities. And I think they have around 7 or 8 trips going each year. So it's not just Peru and Uganda. Those are just the most common ones. So we also have trips that go to Indonesia, Nepal, Greece, Czech Republic, a few other places in Africa, Ecuador, a few other places as well. So traveling abroad at Taylor is a really, really big thing. And we really encourage our students and make it really possible financially and also with your academics to be able to do that. So we do love going abroad, but like I said, the upland experience is really important to your life at Taylor. We acknowledge that our location means that there's not a ton to do around campus. And so we really invest in our residence life at Taylor because we think that it's important for you to have a community in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. So your residence hall is where your community starts. Your roommate is the first person that you'll probably meet when you come to Taylor. And then, you know, the girls or boys that live across the hall from you are gonna be some of the second people that you meet and the people that you live in your residence hall with. Like, we want that to be your foundation for your community so that then you can expand outwards by joining clubs, other activities, stuff like that, but have that safe space to live in. So we have 10 on-campus housing options, and 95% of our students live on campus, some of which choose to live on campus all 4 years as well. We have 8 residence halls, 4 of which are single gender, and the other 4 are co-ed by floor. And all of our residence halls are integrated freshmen through senior. So we do not believe in putting all of the freshmen together in one building because we think that each class at Taylor, they offer some sort of wisdom or encouragement to each other. And so we want our freshmen to be stewarded by the upperclassmen. We want our upperclassmen to be reminded of what it was like to be a freshman as well. And like I said, because of the location of our campus, our students have really used their time on campus to create some really fun and unique traditions at Taylor. So one of the ones that I always talk about is one of our men's residence halls. They do this really fun week-long game of capture the flag, but it's called melon and gourd. And so like picture like a watermelon and a squash. And basically the idea is to not get tagged with either the watermelon or the gourd. And anytime you're not in a building on campus, you are free to be tagged. So you just see all these, 18 to 22-year-old guys running around campus for a whole week, which is just really entertaining to watch. And then at the end of the week, they have this big like ceremony where whoever is left with the watermelon and the gourd has to take a bite out of it. And I mean, it's been dropped at that point, and sometimes it's been duct taped back together. It's been, thrown in the mud and handled by so many different people that week. And so it's pretty disgusting to watch, but it's very entertaining and kind of shows like a weird part of Taylor, and how we have these really, really fun and unique events. So we also have some all-campus events as well. So Air Band, which is a lip syncing and dancing contest between the residence halls. And it's huge. It's one of the like best things. You can look it up on YouTube and see some of the like past years. My Gen and Nostalgia Night, which are musical showcases for our students. Mosaic Night, which is a showcase of the different cultures that we have on campus and different ethnicities. And then Tailathon, which is a campus-wide bike relay race with teams with freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior teams. But if I just said something and you were like, but do you guys have this or do you have that? Or like none of those things that you just mentioned interest me. Well, we have over 40 different organizations that students can participate in. So there's bound to be something that you're interested in for sure. We really want students to be able to find a group of people that have similar passions and similar interests to them. And who knows, maybe if you come to Taylor and there's something you're really interested in and we don't have it, it would be really cool for you to start that. Lastly here, athletics. So this is huge at Taylor. So Taylor's part of the NAIA division, which means that we can give scholarships to our students for being athletes as well as being academically intelligent. So we were ranked #1 in our division for students having, our student athletes having a 3.0 GPA or higher, which means that our student athletes are exactly that. They're students first and then athletes, and they really value their education at Taylor as well as their athletic ability. So yeah, we have 16 different sports, men's and women's. All of that information is at taylor.edu/athletics if you're thinking about recruitment or playing a college level sport. That is a great resource for sure. We also have athletic club sports, including the equestrian team, pom stance team, and the rugby team. And then our actually most attended club at Taylor is our intramural club, where we have sports like basketball and flag football, dodgeball, tennis, spike ball, volleyball, soccer, a ton of different sports. And we have over half of our student body playing in that club. So needless to say, there's a lot to do on campus, but our time in Upland is not cut short by the amount of success that our graduates see when they leave. For the last 24 years, Taylor's been ranked in the top 3 for Best Midwest College in US News and World Report. And I think for the last 7 years, we've been ranked #1 in the Best Midwest College. So we have a 98% success rate, which means that 98% of our students have some sort of job or a graduate degree within 5 months of graduation. And that success rate is 20% higher than the national average. We have alumni working in 19 different countries right now. We've got alumni working for places like the US Department of State, the Air Force, Mayo Clinic, NASA, and Compassion International, as well as lots of graduates studying at places like Purdue and the London Film School, Wheaton College, Loyola of Chicago, and Indiana University School of Medicine. So I talked a little bit earlier about our academics and how we are a little bit different than other Christian universities. This is what it means to have discipleship on campus. So a lot of Christian schools will say like, oh, we require you to take like X amount of Bible classes and you have to go to chapel. So at Taylor, we ask that our students take 4 spiritual core classes. Um, and that looks like 2 biblical literature classes, 1 theology class, and 1 philosophy class. But your faith doesn't just stop there. We at Taylor, what we like to do is we like to use faith as the foundation. And then in every single class that you take at Taylor, faith will be integrated into the classroom in some way. So whether that's biology or creative writing or chemistry or politics, like faith will be integrated into that learning environment in some way, shape, or form, which is awesome because we want you to see that by using faith as the foundation in your life, you actually can reveal more about your academic area of study. We also offer a chapel program. So 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. is when chapel is, but it is not mandatory for our students. That being said, our chapel is full every single time, and it's because Taylor students really care about their faith and they want to take ownership of their faith, and they want to learn from the people who Taylor's bringing in, and just learn from them, which is really great. So next up is a little video, just kind of recapping everything I've said, and then we'll talk about some next steps.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel. Boy, do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland, full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit, sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
All right, so lastly here, our financial aid opportunities. So we have 99% of our students receiving financial aid. If you look on our website, you will see that the average cost for tuition and room and board for the school year of 2019-2020 was around $46,000. I will tell you, because 99% of our students are receiving financial aid, the average amount that a student will pay in order to go to Taylor after scholarships, federal financial aid, grants, and anything else taken out is anywhere between 16 and 19,000. So that is almost half of the reduction of the cost. So One of the reasons why it's priced so high is because we really think that our education is worth that. The experience of living at Taylor is worth that as well. But one of the really nice things about Taylor is that it does not saddle you with this insane amount of debt after you graduate. So our averaging student debt is anywhere between $3,000 and like $10,000 less than the average student debt, which is something that I know as of just graduating, I'm really thankful for. So, all right, so here are some next steps real quick. So maybe you heard something during this presentation that sparked your interest. And if you did, I would encourage you to go to our website and check out what we have to offer as far as areas of study, because there might be something that you're interested in that we have available. And maybe you don't know what you want to do yet, and that's totally fine too. Taylor offers a pre-major program, which means that you can, as a freshman and sophomore, you can take foundational core classes while exploring other options while on campus. So you get to take a career counseling course. You also get to take a bunch of different options that interest you in some way. So that's a really good program for students who are unsure of what they want to do, for sure. Some other unique opportunities are the honors program, ROTC program for the Army, and then our pre-med curriculum as well. Another good step to take would be to come to Taylor and visit. We would love to host you on campus, even if it's just for a couple hours and you just want to get a campus tour or meet with a professor. We would love to have you come and visit and see Taylor for yourself. But obviously, we know that these are very unprecedented times. And so we are offering virtual visits right now that you can either do live or you can do on demand, where you can take a virtual tour, you can meet with a professor over Zoom, you can meet with a current student over Zoom, and talk to your admissions counselor over Zoom as well. So we would love for you to interact with us in some way, shape, or form. So that's a really good next step to take. Real quick here for the application cycle, it's pretty straightforward, but I do want to talk about the test scores right now. So we are operating under a test scores preferred but not required policy. That is subject to change even within the next month. So if you're thinking about applying to Taylor, please contact your admissions counselor about test scores. Because right now we are making decisions on files without test scores. But as far as being considered for some of our merit-based scholarships, the honors program, and placement in certain certain schools at Taylor, we're going to need to see some sort of test score or a GPA configuration equivalent. So be in contact with your admissions counselor at Taylor for when that policy changes and how it's changing and all that stuff. And lastly here, get to know your admissions counselor. They would love to chat with you, talk with you, hear about your interest, hear about your story. And yeah, you can just shoot them an email, you can give them a call. They love talking to their students. We do admissions at Taylor a little bit differently in that we have our admissions counselors by area of study instead of by geographic location. So yeah, just go to our website, taylor.edu/admissions, and you will be able to find all of their contact info there. Lastly here, for my seniors, if you're thinking about applying to Taylor, I would encourage you to apply by Thanksgiving so that you can be accepted before Christmas. And being accepted before Christmas allows you to be eligible for a lot of our merit-based scholarships, as well as our community life scholarship and a few other key ones, department-specific ones too. So that is it from me. If there aren't any questions, that is totally fine. But if you do have any questions and you would like to contact me, my email is carly_speck@taylor.edu, or you can email our admissions department directly and they will get back to you as well.
All right, thank you, Carly. And thank you to everyone that has participated or anyone that's watching now on demand after this session. Just a few things. As soon as we end this window, a quick 4-question survey will appear, and we appreciate your feedback very, very much. And a couple reminders, sign up for more sessions, and you can view this session and other sessions on demand at oacac.org. With that, we will close out. Thank you guys very much for attending and watching. We'll hope to see you soon.